Well, hello, guys. This is Katie with Vintage and Vinyl, back with another great video for you tonight. And today I have Debbie, RVagabond Travels, with us for a great show and tell episode, and she'll be sharing her aviation collection. So welcome, Debbie. We're so glad to have you here tonight. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your channel.
Hi, Katie. I'm not sure that, can you guys all see me? Because it didn't, like it's frozen on my end.
I can see you just fine. Can you see her? Everybody let me know in the chat. I'm coming through just clear on my end. And I see you clear as a bell.
Well, that's so weird because I'm frozen with you on the big screen for me.
Very weird. And I see, yes, everybody's saying yes, they can see you. So I do hear a little bit of feedback. I think if you have a second device, maybe turn that down.
We don't.
Very weird. Okay, people are saying there's a little bit of an echo feedback. I don't know what to do about that. Is that better? Let's see. Okay, and Doug is saying it looks good. Wonderful.
Okay.
We'll just keep going, and if something happens, you can let us all know in the chat, but I think we'll be fine for now. So Debbie, take it away to introduce yourself.
Okay, well, I'm Debbie from RVagabond Travels, and how we started this was we started out in our 30-foot motorhome, our trailer, with our 2 dogs, and we were, going around to see the country and do some, thrifting and collecting along the way. And we ended up in Arizona and kind of stayed there and decided that we're going to buy a home down there. So we're in the process now of selling our home in Colorado. But once we get to Arizona, then we can kind of get our new home situated and then get back on the road again and do some collecting. So.
Oh, that is wonderful, Debbie. It's very exciting to see your adventures. So that will be fun to see what else you share on your channel. Now, Debbie has live sales every Thursday, typically at 5:00 p.m. Is that right, Debbie?
It is. I have put that on hold. However, I do have one tomorrow at 5, but it's on Newton's Cupboards channel, Michelle at Newton's Cupboard. And that's with Vintage Cat and Paws, Gretchen. So we're all 3 veterans, and we're doing a veterans sale. I guess it's Armed Forces Day is actually on the 15th of May. And so we just decided to do it a bit early, and that'll be tomorrow evening at 5:00 Eastern time on Michelle's channel. Newton's
Cupboard. Is fantastic. And thank you so much for your service.
Oh, you're welcome.
So guys, definitely tune into that tomorrow at 5:00 on Michelle Newton's Cupboards channel. So let's say hello to a couple of people in the chat who are joining us. I see Mazzy is here, or Maisie. I may be saying your name incorrectly, and I'm sorry, but hello, hello. I see Vintage Venny is here. Hi, Venny, welcome. And Kara, that's Anjo Gal's Needful Curiosities. Hello, Carrie. Kathy's joining us, First Stop Shop. Hello, Kathy. Tia Fane's back again. I saw Tia Fane earlier in my premiere, so welcome. He's from Canada. I see Christina Taylor's coming back. Hello, Christina. Welcome. And hello to Helen Booty. Hello, hello. And I see Sharon C. is popping in the chat. We got Sharon and Shelly McLean and Maria. Empty Nesting is here. And Patricia Robinson. Thanks, guys, so much for joining us tonight. Diane Broderick is here, and she says, we see both of you, so that's wonderful.
Good.
And Michelle is here, Newton's Cupboard. No worries, Michelle, if you have to catch the replay. We certainly understand. And Katie Sunshine is here. Hello, hello. Doug Grimes is popping in. Hello, I love your little dog, Doug. So darling. And we have Patrick, Trusty Huckster Mercantile. Hello, Patrick. He was also on Show and Tell, and I'll be having a fun sale with Patrick tomorrow at 8:00. So you want to tune into that. It will be Fatbird Finds, Misty, and Patrick, all on Patrick's channel, the Trusty Huckster Mercantile, at 8:00 p.m. So make sure you follow that. And Vintage and Vino, that's, let's see if I get it right, Tim and Jerry, right?
Right.
And Judy is here. Hello, Judy. Welcome. And Kim and Daniel and Christy and Julie. Fantastic. All of you guys are popping in here, and I appreciate that. Okay, guys. So, welcome for all of you guys just joining. It's hard to say hello to everybody, but I'm going to do my best as we go along. And if you have any questions for Debbie as we are going through show and tell, please feel free to ask them in the chat, and I'll highlight them and we can get them answered. So let's go ahead and get started, Debbie. So
Okay.
tell us a little bit about how you got started collecting aviation items.
Well, let's see. I think probably first because when I went into the Navy, I was in the aviation wing. So I was around a lot of planes then and kind of just fell in love with aviation. And I was a parachute rigger. So and then after I got out, I started working for the airlines, couple different airlines. So I just really enjoyed it. At times I was even working like out on the ramp and de-icing planes in a bucket and, the buckets that they drive around the wings.
Oh, yes. How cool.
Yeah. And so, that was in Iowa. So it was completely freezing out there, but, we're out in these buckets.
I can imagine how cold that must have been.
Yeah, but it was fun. I really enjoyed it.
That is wonderful. So what a neat way to get started collecting aviation is actually being in the airlines yourself and doing parachute rigging. I think that is just fascinating. So
And then I married my husband is actually an aviation mechanic. He was one for 31 years. So he has his collection of stuff too. So we sort of were able to merge it together.
Oh, how wonderful is that, that you both share a passion for it. And now in your new home, are you going to have a room dedicated just for your aviation collection?
I should. I might have to make that happen.
That would be wonderful. So you got started collecting aviation, of course, being in the airlines. Do you have anything from the airlines specifically that you'd like to share with us?
Sure. Let's see. I've got, I don't even know what to start with here. Let's see. How about something a little bit unusual?
Yeah, let's do it.
And I can't see my camera, so I don't know if I'm in shot or not.
Oh, you're in perfect shot.
Okay, so this is the remove before flight pin that would go in the nose gear.
Oh man, isn't that cool?
Isn't that fun? Yeah. So I've got that, which is unusual. And I think it's kind of fun because I have some stuff, that not everyone gets.
Yes, unusual airline items.
And this is an aircraft placard card. So like this was something that my husband had, and basically you would, if it's an item's deferred, like it needs maintenance, but it can wait till it gets to the proper station, they put this on, and then they put inoperative on whatever item is. He's probably listening going, what are you saying? But it goes in the logbook so that it gets deferred, and then they can operate once this is signed, just up until they get to a maintenance station that can fix that item. So I thought that was pretty cool.
That is very neat. And again, these are things that most people probably don't have in their collections.
And then this item here is something that they would put on like the liquor bar, and it's a little lock, and it's locked, and then you have to break it to open it so they can tell that it's not tampered with. This one's from British Airways, and these would go on the liquor carts, and even some of the food carts would have these.
Oh my goodness, that is really cool.
So let's see. And then I have this big item here. So this is, can you see that?
I can see that perfectly.
Okay, so it's a parts bag for an aircraft that's on the ground. So it's a rush, meaning that there's a plane waiting for this part.
Look at the graphics on that.
So it's like a big potato sack, but only way better, way cooler.
And Christina's saying, no sneaking drinks here, because you just showed that fabulous lock that you had.
Yeah, right? They keep you honest, I guess.
These are really, really neat things.
Thanks. Let's see, what else can I show you? I have some vintage drink cards here, you know, like this one is from like the 90s, this United Airlines one. And they used to give these vouchers for drinks. And then this one's in 2001 from Delta, I think that one is.
Move that over just a little bit to your right, Debbie. There you go. I like Delta Airlines things. Of course, I've always flown Delta, and I think that is just so neat.
And then, you know, I have like a whole bunch of different airline, the typical things that people collect, but I like the ones from the airlines that are no longer around.
Oh, yes, that makes them much more interesting.
Yeah,
Well,
so then like
TWA.
Continental and the Northwest Orient. And then this is a Delta Airlines one that is, can you see that okay?
I can see that perfectly.
Okay, good. So this is the Delta one, but I love this retro, you know, 70s, 60s kind of deal there with the Marlin on it.
And now, are these cards that would have been given away to first class passengers, or are these things that people got for working at the airline?
They gave them away. They used to give them away to anybody.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I have several of the Delta ones, but I've never seen that one with the Marlin on the front.
Yeah, and you know, I think it was pretty cool. You know, Delta Airlines is the oldest U.S. airline, and back in like 1925, they started out as crop dusting.
Oh,
and
fascinating.
Yeah, and then in 1929 they started passenger service, and so, but as far as like the first airline to have passenger service, that was actually United, and they were in 1926, which I think is, you know, that was so early.
Very early, 1926. Yeah. Well, that's hard to imagine it being that long ago.
I know, right? And they went from like Pasco, Washington to Boise, Idaho. That was the first flight.
Just amazing. I mean, how cool would it be to meet somebody? Of course, probably no one's alive now that took that first flight, but how awesome would that be to hear their story?
Yeah. And so I also started collecting, you know, the little junior aviation, the little flight wings that they would give the kids.
Oh, yeah, those are neat.
Yeah, I started collecting those. And, you know, some of the newer ones actually have stickers on the back. They're not even pins anymore. Like this United Airlines one just is a sticker so that the kids don't stab themselves, I guess.
It makes it very safe, I think.
Yeah, but I used to work for Comair, which is no longer. They were a subcarrier to Delta. But my oldest one that I have right here is this United Airlines one.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah, and when I looked up the year that logo is actually, it's from anywhere from 1945 to 1952.
Wow, I've never seen one that old.
And this one's like nice metal.
And I wanted to wear my TWA brooch in honor of you. So tonight, Debbie, I have my TWA flight attendant's pin on. in celebration of this show and tell.
And the picture I'm looking at you that's frozen, I see your pretty pin. I can't see anything else.
I'm so sorry that we're having some technical difficulties there, Debbie.
Well, it's minor. At least people can see me, and I'm just faking it as I'm going.
And LJ is asking, do you have anything from North Central Airlines?
No, I don't have anything from North Central Airlines. I don't even remember that one. Where's that from?
Yes, LJ, let us know. And Tim and Jerry is saying, Debbie, my dad worked for American and we flew everywhere first class free. Wish we'd kept all those freebies.
Oh, yeah. See, we still get to do that because he retired from there.
Oh, how awesome is that, Debbie? And
Yeah.
Patrick has a great question for you. Patrick says, which do you like collecting, the behind the scenes utilitarian stuff or the branded items that would have been given to customers?
Behind the scenes. Yeah, definitely. That's like my favorite thing. And I have some other stuff that I didn't bring out because I thought, well, maybe nobody cares about that stuff, but maybe I should have brought some of that forward.
So Debbie, show us your most unusual item you have in your collection.
Most unusual. Okay. Let me get it. In the unlikely event of loss of cabin pressure.
Wow.
So yes, it's an oxygen mask.
Oh, that is just amazing.
Isn't that fun?
I bet very few people have one of those.
Right? So yeah, I think that's probably my most unusual.
And classic old soul, that's Linda. She's asking you, how about Eastern Airlines?
Eastern Airlines. I do have something from Eastern. What do I have? Oh, I have a baggage tag.
Now, when are those paper baggage tags from, and do they still use them?
They don't use them like this, no. Ever since they started doing the printed ones out of the computer, those long tags, this is what they used to use before.
Before the sticky versions.
It would have your connecting flight information on here as well.
That is very neat. And Patrick brings up a great point. He's asking, are oxygen masks branded to the airline?
No, I don't believe so. My husband would probably know that more than I would, but I don't believe so. There's nothing on here from the airline.
And Becky is saying, my favorite part of flying is being above the clouds. Silly, but it makes me very giddy.
Let's see. I also have another unusual item here. So this is a 737 cockpit companion. So this is what the pilots use.
Oh, I just love that gold lettering on the front.
And this is airline branded in the inside of it. And it pretty much has everything that you'd want to know about how to fly the plane, I think. But, there you go.
Now, do they carry that with them every single flight?
I would think so, for sure. Yeah,
and
that's probably standard here. You know how you see them come in with all their, stuff with them?
Yes, their bags.
Yeah.
And LJ is saying Northwest Airlines in Minneapolis purchased North Central Airlines in Minnesota back in the day.
Oh, okay. I have a few other, there's a Piedmont one.
Ooh, I like those.
And an Eastern. And here's a Western Pacific. They were late 90s, and I think they were out of Colorado Springs.
Now, where
They
do
were
you
only
Oh, go ahead.
they were only in operation for like 4 years, that airline.
Oh, wow. Now, where do you find most of these collectibles, Debbie?
You know what? I found these luggage tags at the bins.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, they were on an old suitcase. They were all tied together. But you know, I've gotten some at auctions. Some came from my husband's collection. I bought some on eBay. And you know, if you're interested in starting anything with aviation, it's amazing the stuff you can find on eBay.
eBay really is a great tool to be able to find the unusual items that you don't see in your area.
Yeah, it really is. And it's kind of a fun hobby, collectible items that don't cost a ton. You know, some of the stuff is very inexpensive.
I would imagine some of those paper items are not as expensive, and they're a great little way to start a fun collection.
Yeah, for sure. You know, I even have some silverware from different airlines and things like that. Coffee cups, some china, all kinds of
Oh, I'm
stuff.
sure there's a lot of restaurant ware that was branded to specific airlines.
Yes, yes, for sure. I have a really old piece of TWA silverware that's pretty cool.
So, Debbie, how do you describe? And there's Louie. She loves the aviation items. I see Patrick is asking, do you only collect domestic airlines or do you collect international brands too?
Pretty much domestic is what I've stuck with, just because it's been easy for me to get. I haven't really done, but I will go into my private pilot stuff that I have too. So, but first I want to show you one other thing. This is actually, it's got paper on it, but this round disc is actually from a 757 inner pane window of an exit door.
Now that is cool and very unusual.
So there's that.
And I see Tim and Jerry are saying we used to get paid $10 to be the practice people to slide down the emergency slides. We do anything for money, I guess.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
And LJ's asking, what air travel movies do you like? North by Northwest or Airport 75?
I don't know. You know, I always seem to watch the ones where they crash and burn and, you know, like Calm Air and, you know, all those.
One of my very favorite movies is Airplane.
Yeah, right. So,
Debbie,
and I do. Go ahead.
I was going to just say, what else do you have to show us tonight?
I have some really old salt and pepper shakers that are from United. I don't know. Can you see that okay?
They are just great.
These are from 1939 to 1941.
Wow. Those definitely have some age.
They're so cool. I love these.
And they're so miniature. That really is fun because then when you start a collection and you don't want to take up a lot of room, it's really a nice small little collection you can start.
Yeah. And of course, you know, I had to get some from nowadays. I'm like, we went from that really cool thing to these little envelopes.
Those are fun though.
Yeah. And someday they'll be vintage, right?
Yes, someday people will definitely be collecting them.
So I have also, let's see, I have a Lamb schematics, which this is for an MD-82. And this is, you know, all the schematics for that airline, for that aircraft.
Oh my word, that is crazy interesting.
Yeah, It only makes sense to my husband. It makes no sense to me. But I thought that was pretty cool. And then, when we were talking about flying, our flight benefits, so I've got different flight cards that I've had throughout the years. So these were like I taped off the personal information on there, but these are what they gave you to fly for free. And here's when I worked for Delta.
Oh, how cool. Now, when you would fly for free, do you have to wait or stand by, or can you just get on any flight?
So you as long as there's space available, they'll let you on. So you list and then you're on a priority list. So the way that like American does it now is you're by category. Like if you're retired, you're a lower category. However, sometimes during the year you get special, like I think we get 6 of them a year where we can fly. It's called a D1. It's like the top priority of the standbys. So, with COVID, we haven't done much flying. So we have plenty of those left.
And LJ's asking, do you have any of the in-flight magazines? Great shopping.
I do have a few, but I didn't bring them forward. So, but I do have a couple from a few different airlines.
Wonderful. Now, you told me that most of these come from the Goodwill bins or from yard sales or just things that your husband had. So do you have an inexpensive item? Like what is the most that you've ever had to pay for an item?
Gosh. I really don't think I've paid much for any of this because I kind of have merged his collection with mine. So really, I don't really have like an expensive item.
And what item in your collection then do you have that has the most interesting story behind it?
I would say probably this. So when I worked for the airline for Delta, I was working the counter, and this is actually Shannon Sharp's autograph.
Oh, how cool.
He came through, and him and his girlfriend or his wife, I don't know who she was, but I said, would you mind signing my ticket jacket? And I don't think he really wanted to, but she nudged him along and he did for me. That was nice.
That is very nice. How cool is that piece? I bet you saw a lot of different celebrities coming through when you worked at the airlines.
No, not really. Not as many as you'd think. No. So I wasn't working, where I would be talking to people either if I wasn't working the counter or something,
That's true. If you're de-icing the planes, you're not really interacting with everybody else. But that must have been a very cool job being able to be up in the bucket.
Yeah, that was really fun. And at one point, this was back in the day. Let's see. It must have been in the late 90s when I was doing that. And at one point we had like all girls out on the tarmac doing a complete turn. So we had to load all the bags, de-ice, all that with just, I think there were 5 of us girls. So that was pretty cool.
That is very cool. Now, I think you were telling me at one point that you had kind of a race to see who got to be in the bucket because that was a really fun job.
We would actually fight for the bucket. We wanted to be in the bucket, not in the warm truck. And, when you're younger, you're a little tougher. But yeah, so that was really good times, really good times.
Awesome. So what other cool things do you have to share with us, Debbie? I'm just fascinated by your collection.
I have an actual Delta flight attendant uniform, and then I have also a silk scarf, which these used to come in different colors. I'd like to pick up, I think there's 2 other colors that these come in. So that would be nice to have the other 2 colors.
Now, are those pretty easy to find? Those silk
You can,
scarves?
yeah, I should be able to pick them up on eBay. But here's the little emblem on there. Is it getting too dark in here? Can you see me okay?
I can see you just fine.
Okay, that's the ring light. There you go. Let's see. I have a bunch of swizzle sticks, but I didn't think, I'll just show you a couple of the ones that I think are fun. So this is an old TWA one. That's the propeller.
Oh, now that's really fun.
Yeah, I love that one. And then there is one that is World Airways. It's shaped like a plane.
Oh, I like the airplane shaped. I might need to start a collection of these airplane swizzle sticks now.
Yeah, I love them. They're so fun.
Did you see that they're turning the TWA terminal into a hotel, or they have in New York?
No.
They've turned it into a luxury hotel, and the photos of it online are amazing. They've kept it true to life. It's got those incredible details that was originally designed. It's just very cool.
Oh, that's awesome. This one with the pineapple on it it says Continental to Hawaii on it.
There you go. People were asking about Continental in the chat there. So there's one of the Continental items you have.
Yeah, and then I do have one of my decks, I think, is Continental. My airline. Yeah. That one. So that's about all I brought forward for the commercial, but I do have some fun, interesting things that are from private pilots. So
wonderful.
My husband used to be a private pilot, and so I have a few things. This is a Beechcraft pilot's operating manual for a Beechcraft Sundowner 180. This is a similar plane to what he used to have. He had a Cherokee 180, I think it was. So, and that's I don't know. Let's see what else. Okay, this is different. This is a airport and frequency manual. So this tells you like the length of different runways. It's got a lot of the smaller runways in there for different. This one is the Western United States, but it's got all kinds of information in here.
Now, LJ brings up a good point. She's saying that she thinks all of it is computerized now. And is that typically what you're seeing, Debbie?
As far as
the different guides and manuals and things.
Oh, I have no idea. I really don't.
The graphics in there are really neat. Of course, I don't understand what that means,
no,
but I think it's cool.
But like the, different runways and how long they are, what directions, So I thought that was neat. And what else? Oh, here is a private pilot log. So I don't know how they do it now. It might be they don't even use these, but this was from Earl Allen Ringinger out of Corpus Christi. And the dates on here from he had to log everything in here.
That is amazing that somebody kept that all those years and now it's in your collection.
Right? So this was from 1945.
1945. Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Where are some of the places that he went? Does it say in the log?
Yeah, it's mostly Portland area, Portland, Oregon. It looked like he flew locally around there. So just a little private pilot, single engine. 50 horsepower, it says. And then he has to log like his time. So pretty cool.
Now, Nancy, this overstuffed house, her aunt used to work for the airlines, and she's saying that she has a lot of vintage American Airlines things from the early 50s.
Oh, that's cool. Can she find them in that house?
Yes, Nancy, when you get to that section, I'm sure we would all love to see that, and Debbie included.
Sure. Yeah. And then also I have we have quite a few of these sectional aeronautical charts. I don't know, can you see kind of that?
Yes, it's showing up perfectly. You know, those would be really neat framed.
Yeah, they would. So there's that. And so I also have this interesting gadget that is it like does the job of a flight computer.
I've seen one of those before, but I don't think I knew what it was, and now I know what it is.
Yeah, so it's an aid for the pilot to use during like pre-flight to calculate like fuel burn and wind direction and time en route. So this thing slides, and I'm not sure how to work it. I just know what it does.
That is just so cool.
Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much it, Katie. That's what I brought.
That is an amazing collection, Debbie. I'm just totally fascinated with all of these items, and I think hopefully it will spark a love for many people to do a little mini search or journey to find some things to add to their own new collection.
Yeah, like I said, it's a fun thing to collect, and it's so you know, you can go in any direction that you want. I didn't even go into any of the military stuff, you know. But like when I lived in Iowa, I had taken from a decommissioned squadron that we had. I even had at one time a tail hook from an A3.
Oh,
It was just
awesome.
a hook. It was just like this big. It was just the thing that caught the wire.
That is amazing. What cool things, and unusual things too, because I'm sure some of those people don't have the remove before flight strip or any other items that you showed tonight. Very interesting.
Yeah, thank you, Katie. It's a really fun hobby.
Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. This was just fabulous. You all had great collections, great collections. This was a great collection, but great questions in the chat. And yes, Linda, we're going to have some of her military things on the next show until we do with Debbie.
Yeah, so thank you, Katie, for having me on. And tomorrow, like I said, I have a sale with Newton's Cupboard, Michelle, and Gretchen Cat and Paws. So if you guys can join us on that, that's on Newton's Cupboard channel. And then later on that night, Katie will be on with Patrick on Patrick's channel. And who else is going to be on that with you? Is it just you and Patrick?
It will be Patrick, Fatbird Finds, Misty, Thrifter, Junker, Vintage Hunter, and myself. We'll all be having a 4-seller, 1 sale, and that's at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern on Trusty Huckster Mercantile's channel.
Well, that's a star-studded event you got going on there.
I feel very honored to be a part of that group, so I'm excited to be part of that sale and see all of you guys there.
Yeah, and thanks, and I hope that some of you guys will go check out my channel and the travels that we're doing and that we've done in the past. So I didn't recognize a lot of the names you said, so there's probably a lot of new to me people.
Yes, there are. So, guys, I have linked Debbie's channel down below in the description box. So, do make sure you go subscribe. Debbie is awesome. She has some great content. And if you love Tona Law, she did a wonderful video on that. You can go check that out, as well as her other sales. Tomorrow, as she mentioned, she'll be in a sale with Newton's Cupboard at 5 o'clock. So, make sure you go check that out on Michelle's channel, Newton's Cupboard. And I think someone was asking, I missed this question earlier, but Bree Gia was asking, what branch were you in?
Oh, I was in the Navy.
In the Navy, Bree. So thank you again, Debbie. This was absolutely fascinating. I had a ball seeing, and I know lots of you guys did. And again, I hope that sparked your love for starting a new collection of something fun.
Yeah, and thank you, Katie.
All right, guys, that's going to do it for this show and tell, but I will see you next week. And my next guest is someone you know and love from the chats. It's Christina Gawanowski. She'll be joining us for her fabulous Tiki Mug collection. So you want to come back next week for another episode of Show and Tell and check out the other ones I've done if you've missed it. And of course, I'll see you on Debbie's sale tomorrow with Michelle at 5 o'clock. And then again on Patrick's sale at 8 o'clock. So that's it for me, guys. And I hope, as always, you will stay in, stay safe, and bend YouTube. Bye-bye, friends.
What?